Hey everybody, welcome. We're on day 2 of our jewelry fun week leading up to Valentine's Day. We have Alicia Niles joining us today. We're learning all about her glass jewelry, which I love. I haven't seen her in a couple of years. She's hailing from Canada. Hi, let's get her in here. Okay, just sent your request. Hi, Francesca. Hi.
Hey Megan.
Hi, how are you? Welcome.
I'm good. I'm good. Here you guys are all snowed in.
Yes, it is. It is treacherous outside, although it's already probably going to melt soon. So,
Hey, give it 24 hours, right?
yeah, I know exactly. It's going to change immediately. How about you? Tell everybody where are you?
I'm in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. We're roughly 45 minutes from the border. We're sort of like Buffalo North. So
So you are. That is. I'm imagining quite chilly as well.
it's cold, although we don't have a lot of snow right now. So, but you know what? It's winter. It's Canada. It's what we expect. So
You're used to it. I know. Well, welcome.
yeah.
Tell everybody who you are and what you make, and I would love to try on a ton of beautiful things that I see already.
Well, I'm Alicia Niles, and I'm a glass maker. I make great big statement pieces. My primary medium is glass, which I've been working in for almost 30 years in one form or another. But I love color. That's my really big thing. My motivator is absolutely is color, and the more the merrier. Color makes me happy, and really I think it makes everyone happy. So for me, that's my primary thing. I also like to combine glass with other things as well, but it's such a magical thing to work with. Yeah.
I love it. Wait, so tell me a little bit about the process of
Mhm.
what you're doing, and you're making primarily beads. Like what you
Yeah.
work in class, but you tell people a little bit more because it's really cool
Yeah.
how you built this wonderful studio.
Well, I work in glass, and I primarily I start with making the beads. Now, sometimes the inspiration for my beads doesn't come from sort of traditional bead making techniques. I often create shapes that are more reminiscent of sort of nature or various different things. But I
Okay.
really love those really big pops of color and then combining it with different textures. But the basic concept of making a glass bead is you literally melt glass in a torch or a flame and wind it around a steel mandrel, and that's when it cools down, that's your glass, and then or your bead, and then you can shape it into all different things. The thing that I absolutely love doing is I actually blow the glass beads so that they're large, and it gives me a really big surface to work with, and it's a nice big bead without the weight. A piece like this would weigh a ton
Yeah,
with a bead sort of that size,
but they're hollow.
um,
Yeah. Can you maybe
they're
show
hollow.
us a little bit
Yeah,
closer up?
yeah,
Because so they're hollow, so you can get large without being heavy. Love
yeah.
that.
So
Okay.
there's
And the other, like how
that's
fast?
the
Ooh.
so that's the size of the bead, and they're all blown, but the bead doesn't weigh hardly anything. Oh yeah, it's like the size of a small apple, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Okay.
you get that real
Yeah.
presence. Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so you're able to get this large, and they're really lightweight. But how fragile then? If is the glass really thin? Like, what's the
Yeah.
care a little bit for the glass jewelry? That's like a special, very special.
Sure. It is glass, absolutely, but it's not like you go to you get a glass Christmas ornament and you can literally just kind of squeeze it and put your thumb through it. That's not at all what these are like. They're because I'm able to blow them, I can control the wall thickness, and ultimately I want to get a wall thickness that is even, but not so thin that you can crack it easily. The piece will break if it's dropped on the ground. So care-wise, if you're traveling, wrap it up in a t-shirt or something when you
Yeah.
put it in your suitcase, that kind of thing. But they make great pieces for traveling too, because you could put like 3 outfits in your in your suitcase and 5 necklaces, and boom, you've got something for the next 14 days, that looks different every day. So as long as you wash your
Necklaces.
clothes.
Okay, more necklaces than clothes.
Oh yeah,
Agree.
absolutely. You can stuff this all in a backpack and go away for 3 weeks. Trust me. Look, just some
I
simple
oh
clothes
yeah.
and some great statement pieces. So
Well, let's start looking at some. I looked at your
yeah,
website. I peeped your website earlier, and I was really excited because you do use color so effectively, even in your model shoots as well.
yeah,
I love seeing this like graphic behind you with the color, and
yeah.
so I feel like you reflect that in your pieces too. So you have like kind of color themes.
Oh, I do. Yeah, absolutely. I sort of work in kind of groupings of colors. And I like to offset colors against each other. One of my favorite ones, and it's not even that real bright, but it's this sort of yellow ochre
Yes,
and
this
gray, which is such a pretty color combination. I've done quite a number of different pieces in that. And this is a much longer piece. I don't know if I can get back far enough. Um, so it kind of is a much more of a statement piece, but it barely weighs anything with the,
like a
you know,
like 26 inch, 28.
oh, it can go even longer.
Oh, okay.
The nice thing about this is I have this nice little, this little slider bead on it, and you just
Yes.
pull the slider bead and it's long. So you can go long. That way, if you're wearing like a great big sweater and you want to throw it over on top of a big chunky knit sweater, it works great.
Yeah,
So
you can adjust for that weird funnel neck or
yeah, exactly.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a really versatile piece. And this is combined with felt. So the felt weighs nothing and it's nice and soft. It's a nice soft
Oh,
merino
yes.
felt.
And
Yeah.
super light. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So I do that quite often and pretty much almost all of my pieces are working with this slider bead because it's just and they're on the leather, so it's soft on your neck. It doesn't sort of twist up in your hair, which is what my complaint about some chains are, is they're constantly twisting up the back of my hair. So
I
I
love
do.
I have a question about the slider, or two questions rather.
Yeah.
Do you make, I feel like that's very much you, the slider
Oh,
bead, you make
yeah.
those as well? And do you change the color to kind of match the necklace so it
I
fits?
do sometimes. Some of them are just plain black, and others are specific. So this is kind of an example where, again, I'm using this. Let me grab a.
Ooh, that blue. Yes, lay it on me. Like, oh, I love all these colors.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm working with this blue, cobalt blue, and then adding the yellow ochre as a real punch. And I
Ooh,
really like to play with not just the colors, but also the shapes. So with that yellow ochre piece, I faceted it, and it's all hand faceted. So while the bead is hot and blown, I use a marver, or it kind of looks like a pancake flipper, and just squash the
oh,
sides in so that you can create
pancake
these
flipper.
yeah.
Okay.
Marver doesn't make much sense, but a pancake
No,
flipper
I know
does.
exactly. That was perfect.
I've actually a funny story to say about using kitchen utensils. One of the ways one of my earliest introduction to glass, it was probably about 1968 or 69, so a long time ago. My oldest brother had a school project to do, and he wanted to learn about glass, and so he wrote, like old fashioned, took a piece of paper and wrote a letter to the Corning Museum of Glass, and they sent him instructions. This is a 10-year-old, by the way, or maybe he might have been 12 at the time. Sent him instructions on how to make a glass kiln using a propane torch, and sent him a little bag of glass that he could melt. And so we promptly, my dad helped make a kiln. We got out the plumber's torch, we fired it up, and we didn't have anything to melt the glass in, so we used my mother's
Oh
um,
no.
her oven mitt and
Oh
her
no.
steel ladle. But that was my earliest introduction to glass, and I was totally hooked. I was
Oh my.
7 years old or something like that, 8 years old, and I was totally hooked. So that's my early introduction to glass and using kitchen utensils when need be.
I
I
love that.
know.
And like good origin story because very
Well,
DIY. I
well, and
love that
now,
your dad was like, okay, we're gonna do this
oh yeah,
too.
oh yeah, he was keen on anything, and my mother was like, yeah, so we don't need a soup label, so ladle, sorry,
Yeah,
but it
well,
was all fun. But yes, and so quite often, I mean, I got off topic there, but so quite often I will pull up the color from the main sort of the central focal thing, and then add it to the bead and the little things. You know, if you're wearing short hair, that may hang down your back, and it's just a little
Totally.
detail that's really
With your
quite nice.
hair, you have the little, you have that little,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
So it's just a little detail. It's kind of like, you know, you can wear a really great jacket, but when the jacket is beautifully lined and, you know, some treat on the inside, it totally makes the jacket, you
Oh
know.
yeah.
So that's where
Those are
I'm
the
at
pieces
with
you
it.
keep for longer than are necessary in
Oh
your,
yeah.
because of that line or whatever.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so we're seeing, like, show me some more necklaces, but then I want to make sure we hit like
Mm-hmm.
bracelets and earrings. And I want to talk about your amazing new app where you're
Oh yeah.
customizing for your clients.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll get onto that in half a second. I was gonna say I don't do a
Ooh,
lot of bracelets, but I
oh,
do earrings. So again, I try to pick up sort of what focuses. They're not they're not too big and they're not too heavy. I don't know if I can if you can see it, or I'm holding it in the wrong hand.
I tried the other hand like this,
All
maybe.
right. Have you got this there?
Yeah, yeah,
There, that work there?
yeah,
So
perfect.
you
Oh,
can kind of see there, the bead itself is about a half an inch to 3/4 of an inch across. And then the earring is about an inch and a little bit, with just a little dangly blue spot at the bottom. So, but I pretty much focus mostly on the necklaces and the earrings I try to keep sort of simple, just simple studs and simple shapes. So,
kind of picking up the elements that you're using, less ornamented elements from the beads in the
yeah,
necklace. Okay.
yeah, yeah. The focus is really on the necklace. So, and I have some other pieces as well where I'm starting to use. So this piece
Ooh.
again, it's using the slider, but it's using that large. If I just adjust it a bit, you can probably see a little bit better. Using that large hollow bead. And then combining it with a different texture of beads. And then these are leather, actually. And the leather is an offcut of another product I made. But you know, as I'm cutting all these things, and then all those offcuts are sitting on the table, I'm looking at them going, oh my gosh, they're prettier than the other part. I'm going to use those too.
And the
So.
color is so nice. So you're blending all these. The little
Mm.
red, are those little red beads? I love
They
these.
are, yeah. They're very reminiscent of buttons, almost little shank buttons. So I literally make the button, or the instead of the beads having a hole in them, they have a little metal shank on the bottom, and then when you string them, they all sort of nestle together and create that kind of almost rope-like effect. And I
Yeah.
love that about glass beads, is that it doesn't have to just be sort of beads, like strung beads on a line. You can take different shapes and create very different things. This is a newer piece. Again, I'm working in that
Ooh.
yellow and gray as well, but focusing on just those button beads, which they're so much fun to make too.
A
And
nice effect, and I like this length, and I like that little pop of aqua. So this is
mhm,
really nice. It's almost like an 18-inch
yeah, yeah,
or down to a 20. Okay, that's lovely.
yeah. And again, they're all adjustable so that, you know,
You make
if
all
you
those
wear,
little beads?
yeah, I make all of these, every little individual bead, and then there's these little caps that just kind of go on and finish the piece itself. But they're quite fun. They're almost like sort of snake-like or something. They're very fun to do, and all of my jewelry is very playable. Like you can literally pick
Really
and choose
tactile.
and play.
Yeah, I feel like you
Yeah,
want to touch it because even with the felt and the leather elements, like these more textile elements,
yeah.
those are really invite you to touch as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. So they're lots of fun, and that's what's, you know, it's really important to me, um, that
Yeah,
the pieces kind of scream happy. I'm a happy person, and I want to make happy jewelry. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. But so the things that I was making when I found the offcuts of the leather, I
hmm.
have um I have a line of jewelry which it'll be
Ooh,
a little hard to show here. Let me pull this
yes.
one
Like
off.
I'm like,
And
ooh,
these
yes. These
these
are
ones are these are super fun. They're super long, so they're almost kind of flapper-like style. But the idea behind these is that there's dots and dashes. And so these are my Morse code necklaces. And again, they're all adjustable as well. And each one will be a different length depending on what it says. So Morse code is it's basically a language that's made out of dots and dashes. It's actually one of the first languages that went over great distances, over telegraph lines. So each dot and dash, or each sequence of dot dash, is a letter, and then all the letters put together form a phrase. So these necklaces are almost like wearing your little secret or your little superpower. So this one in particular says, "Be true, be bold." So it's kind of like you could go to that meeting, or you could go to that party you don't want to be at, and sort of like, "Be true, be bold," kind of. So they're kind of fun, but but it's really, and
yes,
yeah.
Robin, yes, I love it.
Yeah, I have a client who always calls me, and she goes, "I need some more therapy," because she says my jewelry is cheaper than her therapist. So
thank you. It is, you guys. Okay, literally, we are therapy. Retail therapy is real. This is like actual service, what we provide, for real. Yeah.
And really the beautiful thing about artist-made jewelry is you're wearing something that makes you happy because it comes from somebody's hands, which is really important. I mean, buying that box of crackers doesn't necessarily make me happy, but definitely buying something that speaks to my heart makes me happy. So these are real fun ones, and we have.
I love. Okay, so can you just show that a little bit up close? I'd love to see the beat and how you're making the dots and dashes. Okay, I have more questions. What's it strung on? Can you specialize your colors? Can you also, is this something you can like write in and get your own one made? Yeah, made with love.
Okay. You can, to a certain extent. We're not quite there yet. But I'll start with the beginning of your question. So the dots are all made of die-cut leather. We are working on also creating a vegan option as well. So you can either have the leather or the vegan option. The dashes are all made of glass. So I make all the glass dashes. And then if you can actually read it, if you actually sort of look at it, you can actually read them if you know the Morse code, because they're separated by rubber spacers. And the longest rubber spaces are the distance between words. The medium rubber spaces are the distance between letters, and the small ones are just to keep the two apart. So they're kind of fun, but the really neat thing is that my daughter, who is she can program, she wrote a program for me so that I can create whatever I want on this. So I can literally type in. And,
you got the whole family involved. I love you for this.
No, we're family oriented.
Wrote them all into things.
Oh yeah, my son's also a bead maker too. So yeah.
One of prime employees, or he still is. I don't remember. I don't know, but
he was one of my employees. He's now gone off and got another job. So now I haul him in on his off hours. It makes him a little more grumpy, but he's totally willing to do it. But
I love. But now with your daughter, maybe bringing some automation.
Nice. So what we're looking at bringing this in a little bit of time, just because it takes time to develop apps and things like that. But she wrote a program so that I can type in what I want the necklace to say, and then it will spit out the dots and the dashes and the stringing sequences so that I can create the necklace. So we right now can do fairly short phrases, like for example, this one says "badass woman." So this is something you totally want to wear when you got to do something and you need a little bit of power for it,
I love it. I love it. Yes.
Yeah. So and again, they're very fun, super light to wear, super comfortable to wear. I've done one bracelet for this. It's not. It's just a simple wrap bracelet. It does not say anything, but you just simply wrap it around twice, and I'll just get it on, and you can see it. They don't actually say anything in the bracelet, but for people who want matchy, you've got just a kind of a simple punch of color, loads of strappy leather, and kind of fun. Just again, I can't quite tell where the camera's gone. Just the little dots and then the cut leather. And again, we're looking at a vegan option for this as well. But for me, the most important thing is the really bright bright colors. And I do have a pair of earrings that again go with that too, which is just the leather dots and the little stringing. And they're about 1.5 inches long. The dots themselves are about ¾ of an inch across, something like that.
Beautiful.
So
feel
that
like
gives you
the matchy.
What's that?
I feel like you always need to have some kind of matching or accompaniment for the earrings.
Yeah, I was gonna say sometimes, but I often make earrings that will go with anything. So, you can, yeah, I've got orange studs that go with these. I've also got like the tiny little yellow,
Oh, I didn't see
tiny
those.
little yellow studs.
You can get those as little studs?
Yeah, so these are the studs here that you can see sort of the size of them.
Yes,
so they're
do we
not
have a rack of those to see or no?
the back.
Like a rack or like a whole.
I don't have a whole rack. That was too much for me. So,
Okay. But okay, so those you can get in like a lot of different colors. Are they with sterling? What's the ear?
yeah, the posts are sterling, and then I use I don't even know what kind the back is, but it's a wider stopper. So for those of us with slightly older earlobes, you kind of need a little bit of support in the back. It's yeah, the age
Yeah.
thing. You need a little more support everywhere. So, so they're again super light and super easy to wear. So you can wear them all day without being uncomfortable.
But you could get, so that would work with, those work with like both collections because they work with.
All sorts. Yeah. So they could work, they
Yeah.
work with sort of this type of collection where you've got the little dots as well. And I have them in the blues and I have them in the grays. And so you've got all different options for earrings. And again, for some people, they may not want to wear such a big piece with big earrings. And so they make them smaller. So.
Yeah, like that. Wait, so then I was going to say also, even the bigger dangles, everything you do does have a color story, even with this different dangles, so that all does work.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I tend to work with sort of the same groups of colors. I like really bright colors. I do have some that are in sort of more kind of tonal colors, not quite so bright. So this, I don't know how to show this one. It's very subtle for me. So these ones are, they're all blown glass. These are blown glass, and then they're sandblasted afterwards. So I create the beads with stripes and then sandblast them, and it creates that kind of velvety effect to it. So those are more sort of tonal colors, and I do like to work in that kind of white, gray, cream, amber, that kind of thing. And again, I'll pull the punch, like one little accent from that. Use different colors of leather.
Yeah. Like agates and turquoise blended together also. Way. Like that's your O'Keefe. That's my O'Keefe one for me a little bit.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, there's some days you just don't want to be seen quite as much. A lot of these bright colors, you're not going to hide in them, so.
True.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
Because of the scale too.
What's that?
I feel like this has a lot of presence because of the scale of the beads themselves as well.
They do. So, if you look at roughly the size of the center beads are around 1.5 inches. They can be larger. So they're good sized pieces. This one has, I think, 13 beads on it, and that will go all the way around, to about 3/4 of your neck. But again, with the slider, you can wear it longer if you wished, or you've got a different color or what have you. So they're really very versatile pieces, period. So, yeah.
Fun. I love it. Okay, I want to see, we have like 5 more minutes.
Okay.
On track. I want to see some more necklaces, and then I want to just tell us a little bit about your new app and like how people are customizing with you. It seems like you've been building pieces for people.
Yeah. So we've developed. I took sort of the time during COVID to kind of rethink how I wanted to work. And prior to COVID hitting, the thing that brings me a lot of joy is actually making the glass beads. I love the process of blowing the glass bead. Glass is just absolute magic. I can blow 100 beads a day and still not get bored. So it's to me, that's my area of like total love, you know. So and yeah, and so I prior to COVID hitting, we had gone to a number of museum shops and set up our bead bar, and I'll just sort of show you a little part of our bead bar I hope
Oh,
you can sort of see it. So we set up the bead bar. We did it at Corning, and if I tip this up a tiny, we did it at Corning and Chrysler and a number of other museums. And the beauty of the bead bar is it allows people to come in and pick and choose their own colors. So they could literally, we would give them a little skewer that kind of looks like this. It's literally a barbecue skewer. And they could literally sort of say, well, I'm going to put on this bead, and I'm going to add this one. I need a black one, and here's another black one. And they could just sit there and start to play, and so that they get the beads. And it was all a la carte. So it literally was like a giant coloring box. You can pick and choose. And the neat thing that you can do with doing this is, let's say you bought an outfit and it just needs something, but you're not sure what. You can pick and choose maybe 1 bead, 2 beads, 10 beads, depending on what you want, and you can match the colors to the outfit that you're working with, which is kind of fun. Yeah. So it's really, and then once you've chosen the beads, so here's just a kind of happy, we string them on the leather, and the leather again is adjustable. There's just a little, I haven't figured out the camera. Is it obvious? So there is just a little ring on it that you can pull and make it longer or shorter. So it's super easy to use. The other thing we do is we always teach people how to string their own beads. And that way, if you've got a piece like this, but one day you've got a really simple outfit and you just want to wear, you know, perhaps the red, yellow, and the green one, you can restring it and only wear those 3 beads together. So we would, yeah, so you know, 5 beads will give you quite a number of different combinations and options.
and each bead is a work of art unto themselves already, because each one is special. You make each one by hand.
Oh, absolutely. And so you'll get ones like so
Yes.
there's, you know, they're again blown and loads of colors, but in this case I'm working mostly with the blues and greens. Something like this one, I'm working with almost as many colors as I can find. And I love, you know, adding the textures and the dots and the lines and swirls and all sorts of things. And they become absolutely a total work of art, which is really, really fun. So, yeah.
Cute.
So when
And it's
COVID,
like, in a way, very much replicated this in-person experience now to this virtual by creating this bar in the virtual world, which is really cool.
yeah, and so
Right?
we haven't quite
I
completed.
know, what is shipping like to the United States? And
Oh.
you do work with stores here as well. I know quite a few, so that's not a problem.
Yeah, we're, as I say, we're 45 minutes from the border, which is really easy. I have a service that just drives it across the border, so it's brokered through the border really easy, and then it's dropped into either USPS, so US mail, or UPS mail systems. I just had an order from a woman who had hand knit a most gorgeous sweater and just needed something special to work with it. And so she created her own necklace, and I put it together, popped it into our service, got it into the mail, and she got it in 3 days. So it was really, really quick, and she's in the Chicago area, so it was, you know, quite quick to get to it.
Like very comparable to being within the U.S. potentially.
Absolutely.
One day.
Yeah.
Because you there, I know, because you come here a lot too.
Yeah. I do.
I think you're here in the United States a lot. Okay, so
I grew up not too far from you, by the way.
Yeah, and I've seen you in Baltimore and Florida and other places. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So I
later.
have this, I don't know, let me try to turn this around so that we don't have window.
We have time for like 2 more necklaces, and I want to see this. Oh yeah.
Okay, so this, unfortunately, we're not quite live yet, so this is just to give you a bit of an idea of what it looks like. But I have here, we have different styles of necklaces that you can make. So there'll be one with 3 beads, one with 5 beads, one maybe 3 beads vertically with a tassel. And then, I was going to say, I don't know if you can see, there are a variety of different palettes on the side. So down here, there are all the different beads, and there's all the different colors. Whoops. Yeah.
Okay, so this is like endless fun.
Yeah, and you can literally just start, I've got my fingers on and just click on it, and then the bead shows up. I don't know if you can
Oh
see
yes,
that.
I totally see that. It's like coloring apps. You know when you like do those coloring apps, you can
Exactly.
it's exactly, you get to like play, color, make. Oh, this is like, I also like dress paper dolls.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what the idea is. Yeah, so you can pick and choose, and this is where it comes in really, really fun if you've got that outfit that you're trying to create something with. You know, sometimes you just go, you fall in love with the dress and you put it on and you got nothing to wear with it, not even a scarf kind of thing. And so this literally, anywhere from 3 beads to, 13 beads or something like that will get you the most stunning piece of artwork. And so you can literally, when the full app, you can go through and pick and choose all of the different beads, add them, change them, play with them, maybe see what it's going to look like with just one big, bold, colorful, dotty bead, or simple, plain, solid beads to see what that looks like. And when you've gotten something that you're interested in, you'd literally scroll to the bottom, check out, and we put it together and ship it out to you. So you can even choose different colors of leather as well. We have, I think, 8 or 9 different colors of leather, and it makes a real difference. Sometimes you've got, real bright beads and it's being killed by a black leather, whereas you put it on a pop of orange and it's like, wow. So that's, it should be coming in about the next couple of weeks. We're just tweaking the last few things to make sure it all works. So be patient, but it's been a long time coming, a lot of work.
About this, congratulations. Okay, we're out of time, but do you want to show maybe one or 2 more necklaces really quick before we go?
Sure.
Creation, do all this customizable pieces, but you've also put some very intentional pieces together as well.
Yeah, so this one is just one to just show you.
Ooh.
This is one of my, this is sort of like way too much fun kind of necklace. And so this is, again, these are the beads that you can choose off of the bead bar. But this is one of the large beads that I actually started with these beautiful, almost sort of, it's like having a staycation, like going to, Morocco or Mexico or any of these places where there are gorgeous colors and gorgeous patterns. So that's one of the pieces that you can put together. So you can see sort of what you can do from the bead bar and onto reality. So that's
very fun. Alicia, thank you so much. I look forward to more.
Welcome.
Wonderful to check in with you. We'll just come back and check in again here, and
I'll do it.
We'll be checking in with our retailers on Monday at 2:00 p.m. So if anybody wants to DM us, stores, we're taking RSVPs now. Thank you so much. Yes.
Hey.
Thank you, Darcy.
Bye, Megan.
Here, yeah. Okay. Party call. What a great way to end. That is a party piece. Okay.
Party people.
And I can't wait to see more. Bye, sweetie.
Bye, Megan.
Bye.
Bye, all.